Hi, my name is Ashley Howland, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and why I chose to do surrogacy. Let's get started. Soon I'll have like a little intro, but like this is my first ever YouTube video, so this is what you guys are going to get. Maybe this will be the intro. Anyways, my name is Ashley. I make TikToks. This is my first YouTube video. Take it easy on me. Now let's jump into some surrogacy and why I chose to do surrogacy. So at a very young age, I was actually introduced to surrogacy from a friend of a friend. So I was at a parade, and during this parade, we always met up with my mother's friends, and there was always somebody new who came up to the parade family. So when we were there, I want to say under the age of like 12, and there was this lady that was pregnant. They were asking her more around like, are you excited to have your baby? When's your baby due? And all these things. And she actually told them like, oh, this isn't my baby. This baby's actually for my twin sister. I guess her twin sister can't have children, and she was carrying the baby for her. So that was actually my first interaction and first meeting of somebody who was ever a surrogate. I thought that was very interesting. I didn't know at the time that you could do surrogacy without being related, but that was my first introduction. It was a very young age. I have 2 little girls now, and after my first one was born in 2017, that would be Juliet, she was wild and fun, and we knew that we wanted to have a little bit bigger of a family. Originally I wanted 5, and then we had Juliet, and she was spunky. I thought about surrogacy at the time. I looked into it a little bit, but not very much. And I knew that we kind of wanted to still grow our family. So after my first daughter, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to say anything to my husband yet. I'll look into it, but that was kind of, then we had our second daughter in 2019. Chloe is adorable, and she was our easy baby. She is now 1, and she is turning into a teeny tiny little terror. We love her, but she also has that Howland spunk. So once we had the 2 of them, my husband and I both decided like, hey, we're done having our own kids. This is something that we don't think that our family needs to have any more of. We also really like the idea of having our children, if they go off to college and they're around like the age 18, 20, or they just leave the house for, hopefully, that will actually be like 45, which we thought was a pretty cool age to not have any kids in the house. So we're both very okay with stopping our family. We didn't need any more. Our family's complete. But I really enjoy being pregnant. I'm a very good pregnant lady. I very much enjoyed the process. I enjoyed carrying. I just get a little bit nauseous in my first trimester. And other than that, like I'm a pretty good pregnant lady. I carry kind of small when I'm pregnant. So those were all things that still made me want to be pregnant, even though we did not need or want another child of our own. So I started looking into surrogacy again. And the idea behind surrogacy was, it was just so eye-opening that somebody could give somebody something they couldn't do on their own. But I don't know, it was more than that. Like, I think it really hit when I checked out a lot of agencies, and I think I ended up calling like 3 of them and talking with them, and then I landed on Circle Surrogacy. One of the big things with me was looking at the price range of surrogacy benefit packages. I say this because I don't agree with the ones that you see. If you're looking into surrogacy, you'll get random pop-ups. On my Facebook, they would say like, you could make $80,000, you could make $100,000. Like, that's not really where I was going with the idea. The average surrogate, I think it's in the United States, I don't know what it's like outside of the US, makes between 30 and 50. So when I saw those ones saying like $80,000 or $100,000, kind of just made me feel uncomfortable with those agencies. And I wasn't in it for the money, but I wouldn't do it for free either, because I am sacrificing my time, I'm sacrificing my body, and I'm doing a lot of things. I mean, when I go into work as a server, I'm walking around and I'm working, and they're paying me an hourly, and I'm doing work, and it's physical labor and it's mental labor, like where I'm talking with guests, taking orders, keeping things in certain time. So where I live in Nevada, in the United States, we are allowed to make a benefit package, I guess is what I'm going to call it. I don't know exactly what the phrase is. I know it's the package, though, is meant for pain and suffering is what, in your contract would kind of say, just because that's kind of what you're doing. You're sacrificing your whole body for 9-10 months at a time. And even before that, like, you're taking hormones, you're physically injecting yourself with needles and putting on medication, and just, you're doing a lot. And I wouldn't do it for free because I'm doing a lot to my body. And I feel like it was fair to get paid in return. So when I was looking around at agencies, that was something I wanted to look into, and that was something that I wanted to make sure was clear and laid out, but not the only reason why I was doing it. So I wanted to look into their benefit packages. Then I wanted to look into how the agency treated me and what they expected of me. And I wanted to see what the agency expected of the intended parents. So the first interaction I had with the agency, they had me do a mental background where I have to do, I think it's 100 questions, and it just sees where you are mentally and safely. And then you also, when you're doing that, you're doing it live over camera with your agency, like the agent there. And you're constantly in contact with them. You're talking with them. They're making sure like where you are with your spouse. If my husband didn't feel comfortable with me doing surrogacy, I would not be allowed to do surrogacy with Circle Surrogacy, because surrogacy is very mentally and physically draining, and you need a very strong support system. So if my husband wasn't on board, because he is like my main support system, I would not be allowed to do this. If I was a single mother, they require me to have like a friend or a support person, because again, this is very mentally and physically. And I just thought that was incredible that they made sure that you have this strong person either with you somewhere, no matter whom it is, and who it is. Sorry guys, words are hard. And I like that idea. And I like that they demanded that. They weren't just gonna let you jump into this willy-nilly. And that was something I was very pleased with. And then they asked me what I wanted as my journey. And I said I wanted somebody who I could communicate with. So I wanted somebody that could speak English. I don't speak any other languages, unfortunately, so I couldn't do any other languages. They did have the option of having an interpreter, or having somebody that couldn't speak any English. And I really wanted to make sure I could have that connection with somebody that could speak a language that I also spoke. So that was one of the main things. I didn't care who they loved. That wasn't something that was big to me. I didn't care if they were man, if they were woman, if they were man and woman, if they were woman, man and man. Like, that didn't matter to me. My thing was they needed to have, a loving heart. What else was it? I didn't care if they were outside the US. I didn't mind on that. There's a bunch of other questions that they ask you, and those are the main ones that I had. And they matched me with the most amazing man. Every time I talk with them pretty frequently. And every time I talk with them, I love them. They're so sweet. So it's 2 men. And every time I speak with them, they're so loving to each other, and they're from Spain, and you can just see it in their movement and in their body, like when they're around each other, that they're just so infatuated with one another. And I'm excited to give them their baby to put into their home, to just like be wrapped in that love, because it's so strong. And I just speak with them over video. Like, I don't know. When they sent me my intended parent profile, I didn't get to look at a bunch of other profiles. They matched me with what I wanted, and they matched my intended parent with what he wanted. Originally, he was doing this by himself, and now he's in a relationship, and they are doing it now together. But the intended parent profile I had was for a single man. That's why I say that. I fell in love with him. My husband was kind of on the fence with the idea. Not on the fence like yay or nay, leaning half and half, I guess, but more like to the yay. But he just needed something, because he was so worried about me risking my life, I guess, is what his big thing was. And then he read the intended parent profile that we got to go over, and my husband was just like he has no problems with me doing it now. He he's obviously still worried about me and my body, because that is something that is very strong, like that you do with your children and you have during pregnancy. But he read the parent profile and he's just as in love with him as I am. So that was something that was cool. So I looked at Circle's package. I looked at Circle's how they interviewed me. I looked at how they interviewed the intended parent and how they matched us. And then once I got my intended parent profile, and I was just like in love with the person, like just like, you're so incredibly cool. The bummer is they live in Spain, and I keep wanting them to come over here and hang out because I live in Vegas, and they're super cool. But yeah, I wanted to do surrogacy because I'm good at being pregnant, and I could give somebody something that they, I don't know, just helping someone build their family is so incredible. If you've ever seen somebody that just, I don't know, they not, I don't even want to say need a baby, but they're ready for a baby, and they have the, time, and they've planned for it, and they've wanted it, and then all of a sudden they can't have it, or they've tried adopting, and just door after door after door is being shut. And I can come in there and say, hey, I can help you make a baby. Like, I feel like, I don't know, I chose to do this path because I'm good at it. I enjoy my intended parents so much. I'm like head over heels. Those are my reasons why I did surrogacy. It's a little bit of background on why I chose my agency. I do want to throw in there that if you're looking into doing surrogacy just for the money, don't, because you will not be pleased with the process. It is long and it is tiring, and you have to be in this for the right reasons. Otherwise, your mental, I think, stability will end up doing something crazy to you if you're in it for the money. If you're in it for the love of the parent and the love of this child and just helping grow a family, I think that will be, the money's more of a bonus. It's not the reason why you should be doing this. So there's my reason on that. Fun fact, surrogacy is not allowed in all the states in the United States. I know there's 4. If I actually were to travel to one of them during my surrogacy and say I give birth, my intended parent could end up not getting their child. Yeah, even though it's biologically theirs. Say I travel, I believe New York's one of them right now. It might be different if you're watching this video a little later, but yeah, I could travel to New York, have a baby, and the baby could not go to their parents because their law doesn't agree with that. Like, I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, let's move on past that. If you have any questions, and if you want to know a little bit more information on my agency, their name is Circle Surrogacy. Tell them Ashley Howland sent you, because I do get a referral bonus. If you have any helpful tips for surrogacy, or if you have any questions about surrogacy, please write me. I'm more than happy to speak with you on the fact. And if I don't know something on it, I can help you reach out to my agency. If you have any advice for surrogacy, because you've been a surrogate, please give it to me. I start my shots on Saturday. Today is Thursday, so I'm a little scared. I do have to give them to myself every day. I'm not scared of the belly ones. I'm scared of the booty ones, because that needle is very large. If you have any helpful advice on YouTube videos, please let me know, because I know the video quality and the audio quality is not the best, and I would like to make better videos. I'm just on a budget, balling on a budget. So yeah, thanks for watching. If this video was too long, please write that. Say, hey Ash, keep it down to 2 minutes. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching my long video of me just rambling. If you have any other questions or any other ideas for YouTube videos, please write me on here. I'm more than open to just about any answers or questions you guys have. Yeah, thanks for being here. I don't know, I want to do an exit and a hello, but I haven't really, like see you later. Goodbye. Just kidding. I know what my exit is. It's, okay, let's go make a baby. Bow, bow.